What is it that can take me outside in Washington, D.C. in 90-degree heat with 75% humidity? It is good people in the streets fighting Republican policies. My name is Brittany Page, and this is an outdoor edition of the Page Perspective. We are right here outside of the Supreme Court, where we are supporting the Poor People's Campaign. We are supporting the repairers of the breach, who hold Moral Mondays protests in D.C., specifically to highlight the harms to the poor and working class with this Republican tax and spending bill that they are trying to force through before July 4th. We've heard a lot about the damaging effects of this bill. I've been talking about it a lot on this channel. We're going to be talking to some people who are out here protesting to see why they are out here on a Monday. They could be doing anything else, but they're here because they know about the damaging effects that this bill will have for poor and working class people. I want to talk a little bit about some of those effects, and given that we're out here supporting organizations like the Poor People's Campaign, Repairers of the Breach, they published, together with the Institute for Policy Studies, a new report just highlighting some of the facts associated with this bill and the damage that it will cause. And while we're going through this, just ignore my sweat stash, okay? Because I can feel it coming on. I know you can see it. Let's all just pretend like it's not there, okay? So this bill is going to strip 16 million people of health insurance. It is going to, under the guise of work requirements, take Medicaid away from as many as 14.4 million people. It's going to take up to $1,600 per year on average from the poorest 10% of households, and it's going to deny an estimated 17 million children of benefits through child tax credit while inflating the already bloated military budget to a record high of over $1 trillion. Now, Republicans are starting to be honest about their priorities here, and one of those Republicans is Representative Michael McCaul from Texas, who was on Face the Nation yesterday talking about his fear of Donald Trump, and that's why he's supporting this bill.
I think everyone in the House, they know the peril they're in if they vote no on this thing.
What do you mean the peril they're in?
I think, first of all, it's good for the nation. Secondly, they know that their jobs are at risk. Not just from the president, but from the voting, the American people. Our base back home will not reelect us to office if we vote no on this.
So there you have it. It's not about his constituents. It's not about the people that he represents. It's about himself. It's about retaining power. And for so many Republicans, that's what this is about. They want to retain power. They want to have access to power. They're afraid of Donald Trump, but they need to be afraid of you because they represent you. So we need to keep the pressure up. That's why the people are out here. We're going to talk to some people. We're going to see what's happening with the speakers. And I'm looking forward to seeing the pressure that people are putting on their elected officials to do the right thing, refuse to cut Medicaid, refuse to cut food assistance, and do the right thing.
My name is Rev Betty Landis, and I serve a church in Silver Spring, Maryland, St. Stephen Lutheran Church.
Beautiful. And why are you out here in the 90-degree weather, 75% humidity? What takes you out here today?
I am absolutely committed to trying to raise the voices of those in my congregation and those that I know that can't be here, because they are going to be affected so dramatically by what is being proposed by Congress, and we really need to get the word out and arrest the attention of the nation.
What are you most concerned about in this destructive Republican budget bill? What scares you the most?
Call it the big, bad, burdensome, ugly bill. Cruel. It's just cruel. So it's hard to pick one thing.
Yeah.
But it is, of course, the kicking people off the Medicaid rolls. It is reducing the SNAP benefits available to hungry children and hungry families. It is the excessive ramp up of funds for ICE and for detention. It is, of course, all of the things that are kind of the small little things but will impact a lot of people, related to all of the wonderful energy bills that came out to help us to move away from this ecological devastation, and now a lot of that will be rolled back. So it really hits all the tenets, all of the what we call the legs of the Poor People's Campaign: poverty, racism, ecological devastation, and of course the false moral narrative of religious nationalism. So I'm here for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, and I appreciate you doing that. Just one more question, because I know it's hot. What would you say to people who are watching this who feel demoralized or hopeless or feel like their voice doesn't matter, that they're up against such a powerful force where they just feel like they can't make a difference?
I say look at the Grand Canyon. I say it takes every single person, small acts gathered together can make a great change. And so we have to keep coming out. We have to keep remembering that every voice does matter. Every vote matters. There were so many people that did not vote in this last election, and I pray that they will get out and exercise their rights, and that we will make sure that we can continue to not disenfranchise people, because that is also what demoralizes everyone. They feel like it's a freight train running away from democracy and towards fascism, and I'm absolutely convinced that we, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, can come together and make a change.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for your time.
I'm Xavier Hodge. I'm in Washington, D.C.
And what brings you out?
I had to think of something else to do besides yell at the television. It's something. I have to do something.
Yeah.
Besides feel hopeless and helpless.
Well, that's actually a good point, because a lot of people do feel hopeless. They feel like they're up against this Republican Party that does not care about their interests, that is not going to pay attention to their interests. What would you say to people who are out there like you, feeling hopeless, yelling at their TV, who aren't out here with a group of people to feel inspired? What would you tell them?
Well, there's always something you can do. You can call your Congress people, your representative, your senator. You can write letters, you can post, you can tune in to the live stream of things like this. We've got to do something. Yeah. You can find something to do. Yeah.
Does being out here with this group of people remind you that there's power in numbers?
Yes. This is my second one, and this is getting bigger.
Okay.
So the crowd has increased. I was really impressed with the turnout. I think we maybe have a chance of defeating this.
All right. That's a positive note to end on. Thank you so much.
Millions of people I've just heard that are tuning in online, cross-posting. All of our partners, we want to come up, and Congressman Raskin and others are coming here for this. They won't let them have a hearing in the Capitol, so we're going to have our own hearing today. Just find the best way you can the caskets and hold them.
As the Moral Mondays in DC protest starts to wrap up, we are still out here. We talked to a few people who are motivated, who are feeling hopeful as they are out here surrounded by like-minded people. And let that be a reminder to you. If you are watching this, if you feel hopeless about the Republican Party failing to address the concerns of their constituents, if you feel hopeless about what you see on TV, remind yourself that there are ways to get involved, that there are like-minded people out there, that there are people who are willing to get in the streets in 90-degree weather in Washington, D.C. with 75% humidity, with sweat dripping off their face and down their backs. That's happening because they feel so passionate about what is happening in this country. And if you feel that way too, there are ways to get involved. Please look into community organizing. Please organize your communities and get involved. It's really, really important. And of course, continue calling your representatives and pressuring them not to cut Medicaid, not to cut SNAP benefits. It's really, really important. So thank you so much for being here. As always, I appreciate you. You can call and leave me a voicemail at the number that is on the screen that I don't yet have memorized, that I normally read off a piece of paper. And also you can email me at info@thepageperspective.com. You can support my work by becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below, or by going to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. And as always, please subscribe. This is new to me, being out on the street, but I enjoy talking to people. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this. And take care. I will see you next time.